morning, good morning, do.
Good morning to you.
To and you.
Hello and welcome to the Chat Cave podcast, and that is staying in, where
Oh yeah,
we discuss movies, TV, video games, basically media in the form of either reviews or just if we read news articles and give our opinions on them. I'm your host, Drinking Thomas Hughes. I'm joined by my lovely co-host, Mr. Zenny F _ aka Connor O'Shea, and his Teleboy background.
these are my babies.
I wonder what you're doing today, Connor. Well, whatever it is, I need to be done in 10 minutes because I got my new job at pizza in a bit. I need to get going.
Well, you're off to pizza and I'm doing my baby painting sessions. So.
Yes, so Monday in the UK, I think it was today in America, might have been. I know we got it before of the US, but Monday in the UK, we had the release of the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem movie, the animated adaptation produced by Seth Rogen. That is basically a reboot of the Turtles franchise for the big screen. And also the little screen, because they're kind of also doing series and other stuff on Paramount Plus related to this. So, a lot of Turtle stuff from this universe, which is good. It's a good way to kickstart a universe and then spread it out so everyone else can watch it on like TV shows and stuff as well. It's a good way of... A bit like obviously like Marvel and Star Wars, you got your movies and then you got your TV shows spinning off from said movies. It's kind of like that, but obviously... I don't know how heavily the TV show is going to be connected to this, but we'll see when actually that comes out. But yes, we're talking about the new movie, and honestly, it's a fucking blast of a time.
I enjoyed it.
It's very fun. I feel like the best way to sum this up, if you enjoy Into the Spider-Verse, if you enjoy Mitchell's vs. Machines, if you enjoy Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, these more unorthodox animated looking movies, then you're probably going to get a good bit of enjoyment out of this movie as well, because you get a lot of heavily Into the Spider-Verse vibes from this in terms of obviously the animation style. So if you enjoyed those three movies, you'll probably enjoy this. It's crazy that two of those movies actually came out the same year as well.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Puss in Boots kind of came out back end of last year in America, but we didn't get it till like February.
Yeah, it took a while.
So technically for us, it's this year. So we got three of those movies this year alone. We got three unorthodox different animations this year, and
I
all
enjoyed the
three
animation style.
have been banging.
Yeah, I enjoyed the animation style. It's different. It feels fresh. Not the same rehash like Minions style animation. So.
Why did you specifically get a Minions style animation?
I can't stand Minions.
It's your favourite franchise?
It's like obviously Minions had that style of animation. You watch Mario has like pretty much the same animation style. Grinch, yeah, just doesn't. I just don't know. Just don't
animation.
Like
they always use this. It's most companies you find when they've got like the animation style they like, they just keep reusing it for other things. They say, Despicable Me used the same. Obviously, then eventually Grinch used the same one. Mario used the same one. The Secret Life of Pets had the same sort of one. It's Illumination style. So you usually find those. Like sometimes if you look at some Disney animated films, they kind of look very similar. It's because again they're using the same studio, so they're using the same sort of animation style. Which is why there's a couple obviously recently where they look a bit different. You're like, oh, it's a bit better than just being a rehash. That's why we say with this, it's not just a rehash of the same sort of animation style you've seen elsewhere. It is very inspired by Into the Spider-Verse, but it's done differently to Into the Spider-Verse, I'd say, because there's a lot of stuff that you look at it as like, I can see where the Spider-Verse inspiration came here, but at the same time, I'm like, it still looks very different to that movie.
Yeah.
Which is what you want, since it's obviously a different franchise, different company entirely.
I feel like the main standout difference is the like drawings are less flush, like the character faces are a bit like distorted and stuff like that. Dr. Woman's face is like squished, and then you obviously got the guy at the beginning who like makes them. Whatever he's got like bit weird face. Yeah. Like they're not all like perfectly drawn. They're just a bit like
all over the place,
slightly off. Yeah,
but it works because obviously it's the funny thing of they're harassing these for being mutants, and yet come on, have you looked yourself in the mirror lately?
Oh, the humans look more terrifying than the mutants.
Especially that sequence you see obviously when the young and Splinter's in the real world and they're all harassing. Like, look, it's a rat man. It's like, dude, you look like a rat man yourself.
Then Vito pops out, I'm the trash man.
But yeah, I do really love the animation style with this. So there's some like, especially the lights. You can see the outline of the lights as they're drawn, which is pretty cool. Like you see the wavy lines of like showing how the lights hitting them, which I like.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. And obviously the water as well, like the distortion when it's like the droplets are dropping in it. That's really fucking good. But yeah,
I noticed with like the explosions as well. It wasn't just like obviously a normal explosion. It had little swirls drawn into it and stuff. Like looked like crayons. I was like, what the hell?
it's basically
Pretty
it's
cool.
meant to be the idea of it's the kids. So it's basically like a kid's made this movie. Obviously the kid hasn't made this movie because it's obviously if you look at the cast credits and whatnot, it's a bunch of adults making this film behind the scenes. So it's obviously not that, but it's good that they went, okay, let's try and make it look like a kid may have made this. And so you can see that by the weird character designs, the lines still in the animation, the explosion, the squiggles, stuff like that. You can definitely see like, oh, definitely looks like a child's made this, but it's not. And that's not a dig at the people that made it. I'm not saying your drawings look like childish. I'm saying that you made it look like it's a child's made it.
You know, you dissing them off. I'm telling them right now.
Go on then, tell them.
These are all drew it. The babies drew it.
I'm so sorry, babies. I'm so sorry, Ninja Turtle babies.
They're coming for you now.
But yeah, it obviously I think if you look at like the Paramount, the three big like based on kids stuff that they've been doing recently, so your Transformers, your G.I. Joe, and your Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Out of all three of them, I'd say I've grew up more heavily on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and then the others. I'd say the Transformers I mainly grew up with the films that they put out, maybe one animation series. G.I. Joe, mainly the films. That's it. Whereas Turtles, I grew up with obviously all the old films, the ones in the 90s. I grew up with the live action ones recently. Now got this. I've watched pretty much at least an episode or two of every single adaptation of Turtles. I've read some comics. I've watched some of the straight to DVD films they did. And like I'd say I grew up more heavily on Turtles. I mean, I used to have the set of all four of them, like a big fucking Turtles. I used to have the whole set. And
What happened to them?
might be at the loft, to be fair. Go and get them down.
Catching dust. They're in the sewers.
Oh yeah, they've gone back home. I flushed them down the sewers when I was younger.
Oh.
I didn't know how they would have got down the toilet. They are very fucking bulky as fuck.
Just got a manhole cover.
Yeah, I'd say I grew up more heavily on Turtles, so I'm always going to have a soft spot for them. I say I love the original movie from the 90s. That's a really good film. The second one was a bit of a backstep, but it's still watchable.
Yeah.
Third one, I don't know what the fuck they're thinking with the third one.
I can't remember what happened in the third one.
The one they get to like ancient Japan, I think it is. But
I don't think I've watched it. I never watched first and second one.
They're on Paramount Plus, all three of them are.
I've never watched first and second one, but I haven't watched the third one.
It's like Raphael gets trapped in like the past and they have to go and rescue him.
I remember that.
So I say it's on Paramount Plus. I remember it just being not very good. I haven't seen it in a long time, so I might rewatch it at some point, but I just don't remember it being very good. But anyway, obviously I saw the original series here and there. I had some VHSs of the old fucking Teenage Mutant Turtles series. The classic. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I used to have the pizza episode when the pizzas came to life and started eating people. That was fun. Obviously I saw the early 2000s series, that's one I grew up heavily on. I watched the CGI, because obviously this is the second time I've done...
Yes, I remember the first one. This is one I had on DVD. I watched the most. It was just one I was just called TMNT.
The CGI one.
2007. Yeah.
I
remember watching that all the time.
That's just about to say that. I was about to say, this isn't the first time I've done an animated movie to cinema. They did that and it flopped. Like, they actually had like an entire franchise planned with that, where Shredder was going to be a part of like the second or third film. They're going to bring him back, and the Krangler and stuff. Basically, they're going to utilize a lot of like Turtles lore in the sequels, because the first one wasn't heavily on it, because it was like set after the fall of Shredder and stuff like that. But I remember that I watched that not long ago, and I remember it's still fucking really good. It's a shame they didn't carry on, because obviously
I'm looking now. Right, budget was 34 million, and it made 95 back, so not too bad. But the Rotten Tomatoes score's 36%, and that makes me sad, man, because I remember watching that film as a kid
Yeah,
all the
it
time.
is really.
Audience was 60, which isn't too bad, I guess, but it's probably just because the adults being like, this film sucks. It's like, yeah, but it was for kids, like.
Yeah, I was looking at, when I rewatched it, I was looking at the score and everything. I was like, because all the bad, obviously, stuff against it, obviously that kind of basically hindered it to the point of, yeah, it's not doing it anymore. But then obviously they rebooted it with Michael Bay, while also keep doing the animated ones. And I didn't mind the first live action Turtles film. I thought the first like proper live action with the CG was good. Just the second one I thought was a bit meh. So I'm glad that they rectified a lot of the mistakes they've done over these years and gave us a proper good Turtles movie. Because the comedy is funny in this. The choice of villains is different, which reminds me of TMNT, for the fact that that wasn't any of their main villains. It was like some like random fucking like ancient villains that came to life.
Yeah.
So I like the fact that they didn't go, let's just use Shredder straight away. Let's just use the Krang straight away. They went, okay, let's use mutants straight away. But let's swap it up a bit. Like, for example, in this, Superfly is generally just a mutant fly. Whereas in the actual Turtle lore, it's Baxter Stockman. So they've just linked it back to him by saying he created him, but he's not actually Stockman. So that's a big difference there already. I mean, Bebop and Rocksteady, they're literally born mutants. Whereas in the actual Turtles, they're just two criminals that get turned into mutants.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of little changes and tweaks to the lore here. But it doesn't hinder the movie. It doesn't hinder anything about it. It works heavily. Since that's obviously a massive part of the plot is them basically being created, these governments not liking it, wanting to get rid of them, and then basically them growing into actual proper big mutants, criminals. So I like the fact that they've took what you know and swapped it around a bit to the point that it's not, oh, it's that, why did they change that? Oh, because you know sometimes when they change stuff, obviously from source material, you look at it like, why did they change it? Stick with what you've got. I don't think this is that case. I think the change works in its favour.
Yeah, it fits well. Like, obviously, with the whole storyline, it kind of fits well. I think doing it a different way would have made it a bit obviously
doing
different.
it as them being humans turning to mutants, then the story would have completely changed. Because obviously, the story of this is literally them trying to fit into society as basically non-humans. Whereas if there were humans before, then it wouldn't really work as well. Yeah. I feel like this works in that favour of they are straight up just mutants from the get-go. So they're just like the Turtles, there's a lot of comparisons you can make between the two teams. Whereas if some of them are humans, then there's not really a comparison because it's just a case of, well, they're humans already. They're what we hate. So having them as mutants, full-bred mutants, it's a good way of linking them together. As they say, they're like basically like cousins. So it's a good way of linking them together. So I do like that change. It is really good. I mean, the cast of this movie is phenomenal. Like, they do a really good job. Like, for the first time, I think it's actual kids playing the Turtles. They've never done that before. It's always been adults. So it's a nice change of pace that they've actually gone, okay, no, let's actually cast kids around this age as the Turtles. Because that makes it more believable. I mean, you can tell by their voices. They're not as, like... If you look at, say, the live-action ones recently, the Michael Bay produced ones, like, they're all speaking like this. Let's go. Like, really gruff voices. Whereas this one, they're literally like, okay, let's go. Like, you know what I mean? You can tell that they are literal teens.
Teenagers.
Which is better than them as being adults playing teens. So I like that they've gone and done that. And then you got your more established cast as your mutants. In this case, so you know, your Ice Cube, Seth Rogen, your John Cena, your Paul Rudd, your Post Malone, I'm trying to fucking remember some of the fucking other mutants here off the top of my head. I can't remember her name, but the actress out of What Was in the Shadows, Rose Byrne, I believe her name is. The one mutant that's just playing himself, apparently. You've also got your Jackie Chan as Splinter.
Yeah.
You've got
John Cena.
I would say that one. The guy from Mandalorian.
John Cena.
The guy from Mandalorian and Far Cry 6. The bad guy from Far Cry 6.
Oh, for fuck's sake. I do know his name, but I can't think of it off the top of my head.
Basically, he's Baxter Stockman.
Oh, I can't even pronounce his name.
Yeah, no, that's why I didn't want to try and pronounce it. It's like Giovanni.
It says like Giancarlo or something on here. I ain't got a clue. I know you never had the guy from Breaking Bad.
Yeah. And obviously, he was Baxter Stockman. I think Maya Rudolph was that weird. The one you said there's a weird-faced woman.
Yeah.
The one who technically the last name links to like a big part of Turtles lore. Like, who she really is. So I don't know if that's just like an Easter egg, like they just give her the last name as an Easter egg, or if it's actually going to be like a big thing in the sequels.
Throw it in.
Trying to remember anyone else in the cast. I think that was all the main ones I can remember. I can't remember the actress who voices O'Neill.
Did you say Hannibal?
Oh yes, Hannibal, because he plays Genghis Khan, doesn't he?
Hannibal.
Genghis Frog, sorry.
Yeah.
I think that is all of them.
That's most of them, yeah.
But yeah, so you've got your established cast that people will know and will be drawn into as the mutants, not the turtles. And your turtles, you've literally gone, okay, let's get some kids that may have appeared in one or two things and have them play turtles. So I like that they've split it that way. So you've got your established cast and you've got your, as it says in the end of the film and the credits, and introducing those four. Even though you can't really, I think it's introducing them for the big screen, not the little, because obviously technically speaking, they've all done stuff on TV or something already. So, but still, it's nice that they had this big cast and then gone, okay, let's use these four as a way of giving kids a chance to be kids, which is pretty cool. I think the action's pretty good in this as well. It helps that the music, like accompanying a lot of the action pieces, is just like,
yeah. The soundtrack was probably the best part for me. I enjoyed the soundtrack.
I think Seth Rogen said like the soundtrack's reminiscent of like Tony Hawk, fucking on the skate games.
Classic.
He said it's like reminiscence of that when he was talking about it before. But yeah, the soundtrack accompanying a lot of the action sequence is really good. I mean, they've even stuck in like a sneaky little Ice Cube song into it, didn't they, for the heist bit at the start when they're fucking trying to break into a shop to steal stuff.
Oh yeah, you got to throw one in somewhere.
You got a more PG one. But yeah, I definitely think Ice Cube as Superfly was really good. Like, he's very menacing. Like, he had those moments where he could be really nice to him, like, oh, we're basically the same. And then he can have those moments where he just snaps and is just like, you do that, I'm basically going to kill you. Like, I like when actors can do that. Like, they can just snap like that. They can go from like being a really nice character just being like, bang, no, remember, I'm the bad guy. Fuck you. I think the best one though was Paul Rudd as Mundo Gecko.
Mondo Gecko.
Bruh. Brosif. You okay to drive? No. It's when he loses his tail at one point. He's like, Mikey's like, oh my god. He's like, it's okay, bro. I can just grow it back. Dink. But I do really love the last act. You'll see a bit of it in the trailer. I won't go into too detail with it. You do see a little bit in the trailer where they're fighting a giant superfly. And it's like such a good and a different ending to one of these type of movies. Because how they usually do it, they like, okay, let's go polar opposite to how we'd usually handle this. I mean, you can look at it, for example, the 2014 Turtles movie. The ending is, yeah, it's broad daylight, but they're fighting on the roof without anyone being aware of their existence. Like, they know of this Shredder guy's up there fighting, but they don't know of the Turtles. Whereas this, they did the polar opposite of like, okay, we know what's going on. Everyone knows, because I mean, you can't really hide a giant fucking mutant fly or anyone fighting it in the street, because it's fucking massive. Because I mean, it's got like part whale, part horse, part fucking, you name it, it's fucking got it, which is pretty funny. I do like the bit. It's not really spoily, but the bit when obviously they blast it and the little horse pops up and goes, nee! It just runs off. That was quite funny. He's like, I didn't need that. I didn't need that horse anyway. But yeah, this film is, as well as having a really great last act, it's got a really solid, like, it's really well paced, to be fair, all the way through. It's not rushed. It's well paced enough that you're drawn in and then you can sit there for the hour and a half and it's over. Like, it's not like, it doesn't rush anything. It does it at a good enough pace. So you meet your team. You hear, obviously they want what they want to do. You then meet April. She's helping them do what they want to do. You meet your mutants. They're helping them, then trying to not help them at the same time. And then you got your big last act. Like, it's well paced. It's not rushed. It gets from point A to point B with no issues whatsoever. And it's chock full of entertainment, great visuals, great music, great acting all the way through.
A few jokes here and there as well.
Exactly, a few little cheeky jokes. I mean, a lot of references in this movie to other media.
Yeah.
I mean, the amount of anime references in this is ridiculous. Like Attack on Titan. I think the shirt at the end is JoJo. Is it Bizarre Adventure?
Well, I'm not sure. I know they had like a Gojo like sticker on his stick.
Donnie has the hoodie it has on the end has a JoJo on it.
Oh, I didn't notice.
I saw a picture online and someone's like, "Hey, look, he's got JoJo on him." So obviously there's a lot of anime references. There's a lot of movie references. The reference to Avengers Endgame. I mean, Tokyo Drift at one point is like, he's Tokyo drifting. Trying to think. Batman. There's loads of them. There's even like music references in it. I mean, they even sing BTS at one point, which is out of nowhere. Which it kind of the whole like them having their last moment when they did that kind of reminded me of the 2014 one when they fall into their death and they all start saying what they basically regret in life or basically just random stuff. Like for example, Mikey shouts like, "I never understood the ending of Lost."
Yeah.
So like it reminds me of that, but instead of obviously just like them all saying random things, it's just them all those joining in, having a little fun while they're basically almost dying. But that whole sequence in general did as well remind me of a scene from that same movie. Because they did the exact same thing in that when they're trying to extract the Hughes from them. They did the exact same thing in that, but in a more less happy as Larry way. Because I mean, even when they're going, "Ow, ow, it hurts," they're still basically laughing and joking as they're doing it. Whereas in that one, they're literally just like, like that. Like they're literally dying from it. Whereas this one, they're dying, but they're still having fun on the way out. So there's a lot of stuff I've seen here that I've seen in the other Turtles adaptations, but it's done in a different way, so it works. That it's not just a copy and paste.
Yeah, it's just slightly changed up a bit.
I mean, they've changed. I know they've replicated the OG movie poster for this now. They're popping the head at the sewers.
Oh, yeah.
So you see like New York, and you see the sewer lid up, and you see them all their heads in there. They've recreated that animated for the new one, which is pretty cool. Yeah, they dropped it obviously ready for release. I saw it. I was like, that's pretty cool that they've actually gone. You know what? It's just actually copy like one of the most popular Turtles posters there is. So, I mean, that's like one of the best like fucking movie posters for the Turtles franchise was that. Trying to think of anything else here. So I said I don't want to go into too spoiler details on this. Being very vague enough that it's a non-spoiler review. Can you think of anything off the top of your head?
I think that's not going to spoil any of the story.
I know, that's what I mean. You want to try and think of something, because obviously there are some big moments that you're like, you kind of want to say, but you're like, kind of, like, especially like the end credit scene, like the more fun end credit scene that ends with a big reveal. Like, you don't want to say what this big reveal is. Because you want to, but because you want to go, "Oh, it's this," and you're like, "Oh, it's so good, I can't wait for the next one." But at the same time, you're like, "That's a big spoiler. That's a massive spoiler."
It's hard not to spoil anything because I feel like the whole story from beginning to end is obviously set up for this one big thing. It's not like it splits away from whatever it's going for. It kind of just sticks to its guns the whole way through. So, I don't know. I don't really, can't really think of anything else.
Best way to explain the story is literally they just want to be above ground.
Yeah,
and to get above ground, they've got to basically stop Superfly. That's the best way.
And then you obviously got the other side of it where Superfly just wants to be accepted as well, but he wants to do it in like obviously the
classic villain way of destroy humanity.
Yeah, by making everyone mutants, pretty much, isn't it? Well, not people, it's like everything else.
Yeah, it brings all the mutants to life and basically makes humans the pets, or basically makes the mutants the hunters and the humans the hunted, essentially. Best way is to unexplain it without getting into too much detail. And you've also got the government side of it that are trying to basically stop them and steal their basically ooze DNA. The classic government plotline. I mean, it's a plotline you could probably take out and you wouldn't really miss it.
We kind of just it's there to break up little bits.
Yeah, it's there to break up little bits and also kind of may play a big part within the sequels. So it's something that you can take out, but it's fine with it in. It doesn't affect the film whatsoever. It basically just it adds a few more gags here and there, and it breaks up certain scenes when it needs breaking up a bit more. Also, He-Man song.
The whole He-Man song in between. Like, that was great. I think it's like the He-Man version. Obviously, it's a normal version at first, and then it just goes in like the 4 non-blondes, and then straight into like fucking the He-Man.
It's when they're
And
all
the
singing it.
Skeletor in the back going like, nah.
It's when they're all singing it, man. It cracks me up. Especially when you see like the slow motion of Paul Rudd's character going, "What's going on?" as he falls flying. Yeah, I mean, it is a really, really good film. If you haven't seen it yet, go check it out. It's probably one of my favorite films I've seen in a while. Like, I mean, I love Mission Impossible. I enjoyed Oppenheimer and I enjoyed Barbie, but I haven't seen this level of goodness in a film since probably Into the Spider-Verse, in my opinion. And I've seen a lot of films since Into the Spider-Verse.
What are you rating it at 10? I'm always worried to know your ratings out of 10.
What's your rating out of 10?
I want to give it 8, and not. I don't think it's bad. I don't think the film's bad at all. I think it's just the villain was cool, but he just didn't do it for me. Obviously, the sequel might be the one that pushes it above, but I think 8's a good place to sit. It's not like the best film in the world, but it's by far not the worst. Like, I enjoyed the overall story, but I just didn't want to give it anything higher than an 8.
That's a lot lower than I thought you were going to go.
Really?
I thought
What were you going to give it?
I thought you may have been at least like a 9.
9's high. I think they got a lot of room to do stuff with. I think, I don't know. Like I say, I think the villain was cool. He just didn't do it 100% for me. What were you giving it?
I just think it's a really different take on the Turtles, and I really enjoyed it. As I say, I literally would refer to it in the same sort of sense of the Spider-Verse and the Puss in Boots and Mitchell's vs. Machines. All movies that are very similar in style, very similar in humour. Got its dark moments. It's got popping soundtracks. It's got popping visuals. It's got a great cast. At the moment, I'm generally going to give it a 10 out of 10.
10.
At the moment, I'm generally going to give it a 10 out of 10 at this moment.
Look, I enjoyed everything about it. It's just like some things that I was like, oh, okay. It's there.
Generally, my top 3 movies this year, animated films. Spider-Verse, Puss in Boots, and this.
Like I said, I just wanted more one-on-one fight scenes. I think that was a bit where I was like, oh, like, obviously this is what the sequel probably will make up for, is the more drawn out long.
It's a different type of one, because obviously these aren't characters that you can get these heavy fight scenes out of. Like, I mean, because there's no Foot Clan in this, so that's where a lot of the fights usually happen, is the Foot Clan. This is more just them basically being idiots.
Yeah. So I think it was good. It was like obviously them finally coming back up and like learning how to use what they've been taught and stuff. So I think going into the next one, obviously it depends on how the series works. I don't know if it's going to really affect the.
I don't have a clue.
Next film,
I'm not too sure.
But it's going to be like obviously they'll fully have learned everything. I guess by then, like they'll have more like. Obviously, this one at the end, they kind of all come together and start using the stuff. So hopefully, in the next one, it's going to be like them straight from the get go. We're going to be like kicking ass rather than like the difficult like build up of like the Turtles. I don't know. I wouldn't give it a 10. I think the art style's really cool, and I think the soundtrack's amazing. It's just that the story maybe could have been better overall, but I think that's just because the villain they had to do like the setup for the whole universe that they're making, I guess. But I wouldn't give it anything lower than 8. I think 8's like pretty solid, and it's a kids' film, so it's kind of like
nothing wrong with a good kids' film.
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the kids' film.
Some kids' films are banging. Monsters vs Aliens, Wallace and Gromit, Iron Giant.
Monsters vs Aliens. You told me the other day what you've been rated by people. I'm disappointed.
I mean, some banging.
What did I enjoy and get? I fucking love that film.
You googling there? What are you doing there? Obviously, because there's 2 of us rating it, obviously it brings back the overall Chat Cave rating, which obviously is a 9.
Like a 9.
9 out of 10. Very simple. Very simple. Slap bang in the middle.
Rotten Tomatoes gave it 96% for Iron Giant and 90% audience score.
And yet it bombed at the box office. And killed any chance of a sequel.
Oh yeah.
Assholes.
Tree. Vin Diesel, the only man who can get paid for saying a few words.
He only says a few words in the Fast and Furious, and that's just family.
Family.
Anything else you want to bring up? News worthy bringing up?
Baldur's Gate comes out tomorrow. I'm pretty sure it releases at like 4 in the afternoon over here, like the actual full download. Because it says Ireland 4 o'clock and we're like right next to Ireland, so I can't see it being else. But I'm looking forward to it. I know you installed it and had to uninstall it.
Yes, I did.
Because the way they're doing the early access thing works, it's a bit annoying.
It still is. Because I was like, because I went to sleep, we installed it, I was like, 5-6 hours, that's not bad, I'll be awake by the time it's done. Wake up, it's done, all my other installs are done, great. Look on Messenger, I wouldn't install it if I were you. You need to uninstall it if you do. Oh, for fuck's sake, yeah, you tell me, you bastards.
Well, it's literally obviously I installed it as well and I've been playing it for, fair enough. And then another brought out saying that obviously the saves from the early access won't come over. And then there was like, I think it was yesterday, there was like, oh, okay, you're going to have to uninstall the whole game. The way it works is you can't push out like a preload patch, you have to reinstall the whole thing. Oh, for fuck's sake, like, so. Obviously, I know people who had like mods and stuff for the game and stuff had to delete all their mods as well because it won't be compatible now. So, kind of funny. I'm trying to find the release time in the UK.
What was it? I was going to say, the fucking, that new Resident Evil film's out now, that animated one.
Yeah.
Deaf Island or whatever it is.
Dead Island or whatever, yeah.
Yeah, it's out now in digital to buy over here. It's annoying. I put it on my wish list yesterday on Amazon because it was $9.99. I was like, oh, might pick that up tomorrow. Fucking went on there today. Fucking 14 quid. I went, for fuck's sake.
I know.
I mean, what the fuck was it $9.99 yesterday? Now it's $13.99. You fucking wankers. I was like, I might just fucking wait for the fucking physical Blu-ray to come out and just buy it physically. I mean, like, getting digital when it's fucking cheaper. And it's, what, cheaper by £1? Wow. £1.
Oh, yeah.
And hopefully it goes down in price again, because the digital's got the 4K copy. Physical doesn't. So I'm hoping it goes down back in price, and if it does, I might pick it up. So I was going to buy it today. I was going to watch it before I jumped on with you. And then when I went to buy it, it was like $13.99. Fuck that.
Audience score 69%.
Well, Resident Evil, yeah, no. Got no critical score though, has it?
No, there's no verified audience reviews. But then again, it's nice cinema, so I don't know how that one works.
Yeah, it's straight to DVD/digital.
Then again, Resident Evil films never have like a high rating anyway.
No, not at all. I mean, the CG ones are probably the best ones. They're way better than the live action ones because they actually follow the characters from the games. And unlike the last live action one, they don't just clusterfuck the characters entirely. But don't get me wrong, I think the original movie franchise is like popcorn flick. It's like one of those ones that they're quite bad, but they're guilty pleasure watchable on if you've got nothing else to watch on the nights. Whack it on. Whereas the last one, they try to go, okay, we know what we went wrong with this. Let's try and fix this by actually giving you characters, stuff from the story, give you everything, and then they just kind of just fucked it themselves as well. They
Capcom making games, Capcom making films.
They tried to like make like fucking Resident Evil 1, 2, and like fucking 3 into like one fucking. I think it's like 1 and 2. They tried to mash into one fucking film. It's just like, just do 1. Don't do fucking 2. Just do fucking. Or if you're gonna start anyway, just start on the second film. Like you literally got the fucking PlayStation. Start on that and ignore every other fucking one, and just make references to this happened here, and then maybe do a fucking prequel about the fucking previous one. But then they just fucked themselves, and obviously COVID didn't help. That basically it just bombed.
Yeah.
But yeah. You figure anything, or?
I'm trying to look if there's anything news-wise. I don't think it really is anything mega.
Gorilla Ring in the Rain.
I love that video. Just the way he falls over and just slides across the floor.
So I don't think. Let's have a look. Is there anything? Did I see anything earlier that maybe?
It's like EA teases new Battlefield game. No one cares. The last one sucked ass. Apparently Hogwarts Legacies are still the best-selling game of this year.
Yeah, but it's not the highest. It's not the highest rated game there this year, though, is it?
Still the best-selling though. But then again, more people play it. More people are going to rate it up and down, aren't they? Oh, you know the Magic the Gathering card, the ring, Lord of the Rings. Post Malone bought that for 2.6 million.
Oh,
so he owns it now. That's pretty cool.
Well,
At least he actually plays the game.
Zelda's currently the highest rated game of the year.
Well, as always, Nintendo fanboys going to rate it
Yeah,
higher.
followed
It's
by
literally the same rehash game as last year.
Metroid Prime Remastered. Followed by The Witcher 3 Complete Edition for Xbox Series X. Followed by Tetris Effect, PlayStation 5.
To be fair, that game is good, to be fair.
Followed by Resident Evil 4, Street Fighter 6, Xenoblade Chronicles 3, Diablo 4, 5, sorry. But 6?
4.
4? Is it 4? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to jump over some of these because some of these are like on there twice because it's different platforms.
Oh, go have a look at the Diablo 4 like Metacritic score after the latest update. Like the
3.3.
The user score, yeah. It was at like a 7 and 8 or something, and then after the latest one, it's gone down so bad.
I can't even see the fucking Hogwarts Legacy one on there. Is that far
2.2. 2.2 is currently rated up by users.
Oh, there we go. Number 55. That's where it's currently Legacy. Number 50,
What's the score then?
85.
Still pretty good.
Yeah, it's number 55. And that's just like that's the Xbox edition. The PlayStation edition 6 at 60, number 62, and the PC edition at 70.
I wonder where Baldur's Gate's gonna come up to. Comes out on PC tomorrow. Comes out on PlayStation in September. I'm pretty sure it comes out in Xbox like next year. It's really far away.
I know PlayStation's next month. I saw like a thing on about it.
I did see the statues on about as well. It's badass.
Yeah, it does look pretty sick. Yeah, I can't think of anything else. Is that everything then, Mr. Connor?
Then that's everything.
Right then. If you actually have seen the Tales movie, put it in the comments below. Your thoughts on it. If you agree with Connor on the 8, if you agree with me on the 10, or if you sort of somewhere in between where the actual overall rating is currently sat. Just give your opinions on it. If you hated it, if you loved it, put it in the comments. I'll also put the links to the old live action films of 2014 and the 2016 one. I'll put them in the description below because obviously me and Hayden did do those too. Obviously you can check out the podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Audible, your usual fucking sites for podcasts. And I think we were on about trying to do Baldur's Gate stream this week because obviously we didn't do a stream last week because we couldn't think of what to stream. But we're on about doing Baldur's Gate on Sunday. I might stream Saturday. I might. So we're on about we might all sit down and basically create characters together, mightn't we? So we might stream Saturday, just a quick like hour of just basically making a character, and then do an actual gameplay stream on Sunday. But we'll see when it comes to that.
Or even if we just do the intro on Saturday as well. See what we can do.
Yeah, it's like
the main intro is like half an hour.
Yeah, like basically do the start, basically make a character just to the start of the game, then Sunday just jump into the actual bit more of the story. So yeah, we'll see how it goes this weekend, how long it takes us all to install the game. I'm just probably gonna put it on as soon as it's available in store.
4 in the afternoon, what I was reading, it's going to be available. So
basically, as soon as I wake up, it's basically going to be there and be like install.
Yeah, just install it. Probably take like 8 hours for you, maybe. Probably take about 6 for me.
It took 5.5, I think, for the 79 gig game. But that's
pretty much
that's including no one on the internet all day.
Oh, okay.
Because I noticed when I had it on installed the other day and I was watching some on TV, it did put it back up to 6 odd hours. But then as soon as I turned the TV off and stopped streaming, it basically put it back down to a shorter install. So if that time is guaranteed someone going to be on, so I'm going to just basically have to do as much as I can. Might end up leaving it on during the night.
Yeah.
And then I'll basically get Hayden when she installs it to basically leave it. Because I told her I'll plug in my fucking Infinite cable into the back of her laptop so she'll be a lot quicker. So she's going to do it during the night when no one's in, so it'll be a lot quicker for her. But yeah. So yeah, we hope you enjoyed. And I think next week it should be my solo Meg review.
Ooh.
So you get a week off, Connor.
Yeah.
So I was hoping to do it with Hayden. That's kind of gone out the window. So it's now literally just me reviewing the Meg 2, The Trench, and just talking about shark movies.
You can just stick a little picture of me like this the entire time. There you go.
It's just me talking about shark movies for fucking like 30-40 minutes. It's my favourite genre. My favourite and least favourite genre at the same time. But yes,
Look how they massacred my boy.
but yes, it should be that next week. And then I think you might be still not then after that. I'm going to double check. It might be Alex then.
Alex.
Where's my...
Oh, I said Alex, and my Alex has decided to come on.
Yeah, it is. You got another week. You got another week off, Connor. After that, you got 2 weeks off from podcasting, and then you're back for whatever subject we can think of.
Am I getting paid leave?
No. So yes, we hope you enjoyed our Little Turtles review, and we shall hopefully see you next time.
Peace out, man.
Cowabunga, dude.
For God's sake.
You're thinking it. Bye.
Not thinking cowabunga.